Hey everybody!
Hello.
Hi! Welcome to our discussion of Where We Belong by Emily Giffin, who was so amazing when we met her.
She was awesome.
If you haven't seen this interview, I think you should check it out because she's just a down-to-earth, smart, really awesome
Super
woman.
Cool. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
She could like hang out with us.
Yeah.
I'm so sad that I missed that.
Yeah.
Because I loved this book so much.
I really loved it too.
Me too.
I am excited to talk about it, and I think we're also just kind of chat a little bit because it's really hot and a lot has happened, and everyone's gone back to school, and I'm feeling a little loopy, so I think we should just roll with it.
Yes,
what's going on? So Cadence started school in a new city.
Yes.
In a new. How's she doing?
Yes, she is doing really amazing. She started junior high, which was a big transition anyway, and like you said, it's a whole new territory, and we were expecting a lot of doom and gloom and like hardship and toil, like life usually is, and instead, it's been really incredibly awesome. She has met a lot of new friends. She's got some fantastic teachers. She gets to wear school uniforms, which is, I don't get it. I don't get why that's a good thing, but I guess
It's
this
awesome.
is a good thing.
I wore a
Probably
uniform
easier.
for 12 years.
Yeah, but I thought as a kid you would hate that, but she
likes it?
Just makes it
is
easy.
totally into it. So,
How about you guys? How's Gage and Braylee?
Good. They're going to different schools this year, and this is the first year Gage has ever gone to school, but he's loving it. It's only 2 hours, so we're easing into it a little bit, but it's really good. Braylee loves her teacher.
That's great.
Couldn't be better.
Wow, good. And you've had some pregnancy and crazy.
I'm on bed rest still, so but the doctor said it was cool for me to come here.
Well, I'm glad you.
So I'm glad I'm here. I was
Been
like, get
cleared.
me out of the house. Baby's coming in 3 weeks or less. So
great.
I'm ready.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, let's do this. And Lulu is starting school next week. So she's just going to go 3 days. 3 days, 3 hours a day.
Are you nervous?
But my heart is breaking. I'm actually going to drop her off next week. I said, I have to be able to drop my kid off at her first day of school. So I'm getting out of bed for that too.
I want to see pictures.
So, but I'm the one who I think is going to be
Yeah.
crying. But
Well, we're off. It's happened. Fall is here. No, it's not here yet. It's really hot.
It's
It's because it's really hot. I don't know what season it is. But fall is coming. Back to school season has come. And we read this great book, Where We Belong, and viewers really seemed to enjoy it as well and gave us some comments and thoughts. And for those of you guys who don't know Emily Giffin, she is a best-selling author. She's actually written 5 New York Times best-selling books. One of them was actually made into a movie, Something Borrowed with Kate Hudson, and she wrote a sequel to it called Something Blue. She is a really accomplished woman who went to law school and then started writing more, fulfilling her passion and following her passion, and then moved to Atlanta where she lives with her family. So this book, for those of you who may not have had time to read it yet, you should check it out, is about a woman who lives in New York, who's a TV producer and head writer, and has a big secret in her life, which is that she gave her daughter up for adoption when she was 18. She got pregnant, and she never told the birth father that she had a baby. Everything is put into motion when Kirby, her daughter, decides to find her and comes and shows up in her apartment in New York. So one of the first things that comes to mind as a big theme is secrets. It's a big thing for Marian, and it's also a big thing for her family. We learn that there's more and more and more secrets.
Right.
Do you guys think that secrets and lies are the same? Is it a lie if it's a secret? How does that relationship work?
I think depending.
Please
I
go.
think in this case, yes, it was lying.
Mm-hmm.
I do. Keeping it from the birth father,
yeah, that was
That's
terrible.
bad.
yeah.
Well, I come from a family of a lot of secrets, like weird secrets. And growing up,
I'm like,
I was always like, why is everything so secretive? And I think that's why I have this blog now, and my life is a complete open book because I hate secrets. And I think that they get you into trouble. They make you feel like you have to be ashamed of something.
yeah.
And I don't know about it being the same as lies if you have a secret. I guess it depends on what that secret is. But yeah, not telling Conrad.
That's fine. I'm like
That was
the
horrible.
opposite of that. I think I'm a pretty secretive person. I don't think I'm a liar.
Liar!
I think there is a difference between a secret and a lie. There's a difference between trying to purposefully deceive somebody and then keeping something private. I guess I'm a private person, which in
Right.
turn makes me a secretive person. Because
It sounds better if you say private as opposed to
Yes.
secretive.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's different.
Serious. Yeah.
I feel like it's different to be private than to keep secret. Like,
I keep secrets.
I mean, secrets like that, that's...
That's a bad secret.
Yeah,
for sure.
and
That's a
because
lie, like
you're
you said.
you have to lie. She had to lie to her dad. You know, she left and went away, and I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I do feel
That is,
What
I
about
think,
you?
more.
I know. I think in this case, you're right. I agree. I mean, in this case, she literally lied because he said they took a pregnancy test and she said it was negative.
Right.
So it was a literal lie.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think it depends on the context of how the secret affects other people. If it's something that really doesn't affect other people, but you're keeping it a secret, I don't think that's a lie. I think that's your personal right.
Right.
But if it's something that the fact that you're keeping it secret means somebody doesn't know something that they really ought to know,
Right.
then it becomes a lie.
And keeping it from her father is that's a lie by omission, right? By not divulging that you have a grandchild out there, that this huge thing is happening is
Right.
that's different. That's different than a secret.
Right. And then what did you think about the fact that her mom, there was also her mom and her dad were also both
Right.
keeping a secret.
So her mom lied to her, or kept it a secret from her that she had told her dad, and then her dad was keeping it a secret that he knew.
I
Right?
was really
Isn't that-
relieved though that her mom had told
Right.
the dad.
Yes.
Me too.
I felt
I was
terrible.
happy that she,
Me too.
she
Yeah.
had.
I think I would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't think you could keep something. I couldn't keep that information from my husband.
Yeah.
You know.
But also as a mother, I would have never encouraged my daughter to keep that as a secret from.
True.
You know, I would have talked to her and said, we really need to tell your dad. We
Yes.
need to do this as a family because Marion needed that. You know, in the end, Marion needed that. She could tell that there was a difference in the relationship that she had with her father, and if they would have all figured this out as a family, I feel like everyone would have been better off.
Yeah, it's funny. So like, I think that shame is such a powerful emotion. And I think most of the lies I've told in my life have come out of shame. And I think it was, I mean, I can imagine that her mother probably felt she was doing her daughter a favor by not changing the dynamic between her husband and her daughter. Does that make sense?
Yes,
I mean, I can see,
totally.
I don't think it's right, but I can see in some distorted way how you could justify that.
I actually remember something like this kind of happening to me, so much smaller than a child. But when I was in 4th grade, I got caught with a bunch of girls writing a dirty magazine.
You were writing or reading?
Writing. We were trying to, I don't know what we were doing.
We were writing.
We were writing a dirty magazine. We were all collaborating. I can't.
Oh my gosh,
we were
that's
all
so
collaborating on, and my story was about how the real reason Madonna and Sean Penn broke up is because she was sleeping with all these different guys, and I had this I can't believe him. Anyways, we got caught writing this. Well, I had this like whole story about how she had a different guy in each room. You know, we were just like little kids, like being curious, and we were writing together.
Do you still have it? That
No.
would be amazing.
No. But we got caught by our teacher, and I was so ashamed. And they wanted us to talk to our parents about it, not because they weren't saying, you're terrible children, but because they wanted to be aware that we were having these questions, and
Right.
And I remember I told my mom, and I was just crying, and I was like, please don't ever tell Dad. He just can never know this happened, because it just killed me to think that my dad might know that, I wasn't just a little girl. It was just, I had a lot of shame about it. And then I remember one night I overheard my mom and my dad talking about it.
She did.
Yeah, she told him, and they thought it was funny. My
Of
dad
course
was
they
laughing.
did.
Like, they thought it was hilarious, but I was so mad at my mom. I felt she had completely betrayed me.
I think you're right to be mad at her.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
My mom's terrible.
Yeah, but you would have the biggest
I don't
chuckle
know.
out of it reading it and being like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Maybe they have it. Do you
We
guys
should
have
ask.
We should ask.
Well, I remember when I got my period, I begged my mom not to tell my dad.
Oh, really?
And I don't know if it was a shame thing, but I was just like so embarrassed. And I just didn't want him to know that,
Yeah.
like, I wanted him to think of me as always being like this little girl.
Right.
It's like, don't tell Dad, oh my God, don't tell Dad. My mom was like, why?
Yes.
This is, part of
interesting.
growing up, and just please, please, please. And I was so embarrassed. But,
But
yeah,
she
that is
probably
funny.
did.
There's something about, like, the daughter-father dynamic that you want to preserve that, like, childlike innocence in
Yeah.
the eyes of your dad.
That's true.
Interesting.
Well, this leads to a concept that's brought up in the book, which is forgiveness, right?
Yes.
I forgave myself for writing a dirty magazine last time. Which one of these offenses do you think are forgivable in this book?
All of them.
Yeah, I think all of them as well.
Yeah.
The hardest one, though, I think, is the Conrad lie.
too.
Lying to him. I mean, that's big.
Yeah.
That's big, and I don't even know if it's forgivable. I'm not sure. I mean, that's 18 years. What if Conrad wanted to,
Yeah.
be in the baby's life? Or, I mean, that's time. 18 years that you can't get back.
I believe that when you don't forgive someone, it hurts yourself. you
Well, I'm
know,
not saying
so-
not for. I mean, you should always forgive,
Right.
especially if the other person is, very sorry and apologetic. But it's just, it would be really hard for me.
Oh yeah, totally.
And it
forgive.
seems like a worse offense, really
Yes.
something that is lost and you can never really repair the
Right.
damage. You can maybe move on, but you can't, or one of those things you can forgive but not forget or something.
You can't get that time back. I mean, that's 18 years.
Yeah.
That's her whole life, his whole life.
No?
I also was at the end of the book looking at where they all were in their lives. They were all successful and happy, and maybe that wouldn't have been the case if they were 18 years old, got married. You changed so much. Who knows? They might have had a dysfunctional family, and this poor girl was suffering. Instead, she had an amazing family, a strong family unit. She was a great girl, and they both succeeded in things.
Right.
He owned a bar, she was a producer. So I feel like at the end of all of it, if you look at the big picture, it was a blessing that it
Right.
happened.
She lucked out and had an amazing family.
Right.
Right.
Okay, I have a question for you. What do you think happens after the story ends?
I don't know.
She should do a sequel. I told
I
Emily when
agree.
we interviewed her, I was like, look, the story's not over yet.
I think she should do a sequel too.
Me too.
Yeah.
It would be really fun to see how it resolves. I mean, you certainly I know what I hope happens. you
Well,
know?
of course. But the thing is, if they get together, she lives in New York, he lives in Chicago, right? Is it
Yeah.
Chicago?
Yeah, Chicago.
Yeah. And how are they going to make it work? I don't know.
I think she's realizing that this was what she thought her dream was, but in the end of it, that wasn't her dream to be this big producer in New York living this life.
Right.
I think she would rather be in Chicago with Conrad.
I got the same
He was
sense,
hot.
Too.
He was so hot.
He's super hot. He's
I
like
think
Jeff
That
Buckley hot.
of all the books that we've read, like, this is my kind of guy.
Totally. 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 No, but it's true. I think I love what you just said, Kaylee, because I think that is the theme of the book, where we belong, and that sometimes where we think we belong isn't where we actually belong. And it was nice that Peter, her other guy, was never a bad guy. He was always like a nice guy.
Right.
He was actually helped her along the journey. And it's everything she thought she wanted, but it's not really where she belonged in some sense.
Yeah.
So she belongs in Chicago.
With Conrad.
She's with Conrad.
Yeah. She belongs living a different life anyways.
I also feel like Conrad felt like he belonged with Marianne. Marian.
Well, I felt like he didn't want to love her and he didn't want to admit it.
Right.
And he was so stubborn about it, but he never got over her. Yeah.
They belonged together.
That's why he said it kind of haunted his marriage with the bartender, the bisexual bartender.
That's right.
I asked Emily Giffin if she was going to write the sequel, and she said she had never even thought about pursuing a character further than the book, except for Kirby.
It
So
would be fun to see what happens with Kirby.
It would be.
Guys, I feel like our conversation is wrapping up here, and I want to tell you that we are actually taking a little break from the book club. We're going to let ourselves get into the back to school fall season. There's actually going to be a lot of new programming coming up, so that's exciting. And but we do really need you to still tell us the books you want us to read and what you're reading, because we all want to keep reading, and we're going to find ways to keep an ongoing discussion about our books and the things that we're enjoying with you guys. So please let us know in the comments below, on our Facebook page, Twitter. Tell us the books that you're reading and what authors you think we should check out for when we bring book club back.
It's been so much fun. I didn't know that I loved reading so much until we started this. So thank you, everyone. It's been really fun.
Wonderful. And it's just nice. I really enjoyed our group. I really
Me
liked
too.
it.
It's
It's been
been
fun to. We missed Carly.
Oh, yeah.
That was unfortunate. She
Yes.
couldn't be here last minute, but we have a really good book club group, so maybe we could just do this on our own and just have some cheese and cheese.
Perfect.
That's the part that just sells me on it is the cheese. Thanks everybody. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
bye.
Bye.